So we're ShoutOut, basically we describe ourselves as a complete user-generated content solution, and it's like Canva and SurveyMonkey had a baby. So basically the idea is you build your branding template, first of all, that can have an intro, outro, music, screen overlay, captions, etc. Then you can send out a link and invite people to record, or record yourself, a bit of spontaneous advocacy, just grab a phone, record people, and then the video gets created automatically in seconds. So there's two parts to ShoutOut. There's the dashboard where you build your template and all the videos appear, and the invite link that you can send out to customers. The thing about ShoutOut is that invite link can be configured in multiple different ways. So you can ask for videos, but you can also ask for caption information, net promoter score stuff. See, it's not just videos that you're making. You can also make text-based animated videos that can be embedded on a website, etc. You can brand up Teams or WebEx calls, make audiograms. It's completely flexible, really, what you can ask for. So yeah, the other thing about us is we've like a lot of companies now, we've really embraced AI. So we do, you can analyze sentiment automatically with AI. When you post videos, you can create the video post with AI as well. So we obviously have native sharing. You can embed videos into playlists and put them on the website. But I could bore you to tears about features, but that's not what this is about. This is about our lovely customer. And I always panic about Jeannie's new second name. So it's Jeannie Nitschke. I hope I've got that right.
You got it right. You got it right.
I'm more worried about that than anything else because, name changes.
Me too. I get it wrong all the time.
Brilliant. Okay, so it's not just me. So Jeannie, hopefully you're here. I'll allow you to introduce yourself and talk about actually your video strategy, really, and how ShoutOut fits into that.
Sure, Dan. Thanks for having me. So here at Motive, we wanted to have very highly produced video, but we also knew that that was not all we needed. We also needed very authentic video, given that we have a really broad set of customers, from massive enterprise customers all the way down to companies that have one or two vehicles. And so when I joined Motive a year ago, I knew I needed to have both solutions. And I took a look at 4 leading providers in this space and ultimately chose ShoutOut for 2 very particular reasons. One is the very specific granularity with which you can brand ShoutOut for your company. When I looked at those 4 platforms, I brought together not only customer marketing, brand, and our video team to take a look at the solutions and help me decide. And that was the number one thing. Everything about our ShoutOut platform is Motive branded, which is massive. So here's a couple of examples that we've done. Our first project was an experiment that we sent out on our driver app to our drivers and said, hey, it's Motive's 10th anniversary. Give us a shout out and we will give you a $25 gift card. And guess what happened? In 2 hours, we had to shut it down because we had over 200 submissions from our drivers. I had to call my boss and say, do you want the good news or the bad news? Because we had blown out the budget. But we're also using Motive, as you can see, for a couple of other things. On the right side, you see a slide, if you will, that we used for our speakers at our recent conference. It's not a video, but it's an animated GIF that we use to promote our speakers on social. We're also using ShoutOut for our traditional, more authentic Q&A kind of customer videos, but also these creative approaches too. We are also using internally within other departments like HR for recruiting, or our enablement team for our sales kickoff, and other internal use cases, which are super valuable. And then the other thing I'll say about selecting ShoutOut that was super important is multi-trim editing. So with ShoutOut, you don't just have the ability to trim the ends of your video, you can trim anywhere you want in the clip. When I looked at these products, it was the only game in town where you could do multi-trim editing. So that was probably a longer answer than you wanted, Dan, but that's kind of it in a nutshell there.
It's pretty much a perfect answer. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, we've really embraced multi-trim, and we've added quite recently the way to multi-trim with AI. I know sort of AI is kind of everywhere, but certainly using AI for sentiment analysis and for being able to trim down videos automatically is actually a really good tool. To your point, what we're finding is that people are getting like a huge amount of videos, and it actually becomes a problem to, you know, how you manage them, how you find the best ones, and how you turn them into a compilation. The other thing that ShoutOut does, maybe you can talk a bit about this. You can make sort of compilations of your sort of favorite testimonials, if you like, and even create kind of custom compilations for individual customers. So you can kind of select relevant ones, turn it into a compilation really quickly. Is that something you want to talk about?
Yeah, something really interesting we're doing is at Motive, we often have a corporate contract with a company that may have opcos or franchises. And so something that we're doing now is actually interviewing drivers at one operating company or franchise, and then using that to sell across other franchises. So you might call it ABM. I kind of call it in-customer selling, and that is working really well. So interviewing at one 1-800-GOT-JUNK facility or franchise, and then using that story as an internal-only testimonial to sell across other 1-800-GOT-JUNK franchises. And it has been massively successful because one franchise really trusts another franchise.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to add about, because the other thing that we're really quite proud of, is that we're a sort of hybrid SaaS model, if you like. So we're really about, you know, providing agency service as well, because, you know, tools are fantastic, but you really want to be able to be quite, you know, it's how you use them that's the key. And our background is in more traditional video production. I've personally spent 40 years making videos, frighteningly. And I think, you know, these tools are the next evolution of, I think, how videos are made. There's so many advanced. Actually, I'm not going to say that they fit in to an ecosystem of traditional big budget videos. But one thing that these do for you is it's a more kind of economical way to find your heroes, because videos can be really expensive, but you can find your heroes, find people that are great on camera, have got a great story, and then use ShoutOut to do that, and then invest more money in the big kind of hero content piece. Because I'm sure we've all been in that position where a story looks great on paper, but it doesn't necessarily translate. And this is a great way to kind of to do that as well.
Absolutely. You know, the other thing about ShoutOut that I really appreciate is when I've had suggestions for features and I've come to you and the team and said, can you build this? I need this thing, this feature. You and the team have turned those around so incredibly fast. I think I can think about 6 new features that you've developed just because we've asked for them, and they were specific to your customer base that you thought they would have value across your customers. And the support from you and the team has been absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you. That really means a lot. And I have to say, it's because all your ideas are so good. You are absolutely, you know, it's a complete joy, because these suggestions are all, you know, all these platforms are evolving, and it's great to kind of have that sort of partnership, really. And you know, it's so important that you know the platform does what you want it to do. So it's an absolute honor to be able to facilitate that.
You know, I think what I'll say in closing is that to do video in a company, you have got to have your video team and your brand team on your side and supporting you and agreeing with the decision you've made in a tool. Otherwise, you're going to be swimming upstream. They're going to block you left and right. And so as you're selecting a tool like this, bring them into that decision making, so that it's going to smooth out any friction that you hit in the future.
Very true.
Well, thank you, Dan and Jeannie. As always, fantastic. Thank you so much.